Hello, my name is Jeff. This is To a Self-Defense Law. What we do is we help people understand the law of self-defense in the simplest terms possible. We put the fear out of getting it wrong. Last week we had a guest speaker, and there's some questions that came out of that. And the topic that we were speaking a lot about is, what do you say at the scene? And this is such a nuanced topic as far as I'm concerned, that it has to be a little bit explained a little bit more, because my position takes education where the other position is just shut up and go from there. Now, let's just say that you're a cop. You got a phone, you got a call saying that there was a shooting and there's probably a man down. So when you get there, you see someone bleeding out on the floor, and then you see another person. What do you automatically assume? Well, you automatically assume that the person that is bleeding out on the ground is the good guy. You have to change that perception. And you have to be your best marketeer. You have to be your best marketeer. Because if you say absolutely nothing and there's nothing to go on, you will be arrested, you will be handcuffed, you will be put in the back of the car, and you'll be going to jail. And at that point, you're going to have to find a lawyer. You're going to have to probably get bail. All right? That's if you say nothing. Now, unless you are inside in your home and they broke into your home, you're going to be assumed to be the innocent party. But let's say that you were in an alley and it was just you and another person. And for some reason, there are no cameras, there's no other witnesses, and there's nothing to say anything. You have to market yourself right away. And that's what Massa Ayub did. Again, Masada Ayub, all he does is good guy cases, where criminal defense attorneys will rarely have a good guy case. What do I mean by that? 97% of all self-defense shootings that go through the system are bullcrap. That is a criminal trying to get off on or trying to mitigate something that happened when their criminal act went wrong. Those are what the lawyers, the criminal defense attorneys, are hired to help. So if you lump all of the self-defense into one great thing and say nothing, where you could be leaving a lot on the table. What if you said, and I'll use an example a long time ago, and people have a hard time with this example. It's a fictional story, people, and I'm going to give you certain instructions of what the story is, because it has postmarks, data points, where the facts of the case change, okay? Don't read into it any more than it is. You're walking home, you're walking to your car, and you took a shortcut. You took a shortcut into an alley where a person who is half their size brings out the gun and says, "Give me all your money." Okay, this is a story, guys. You managed to get your weapon out, and you put one in his shoulder. Okay, what he does, he drops the gun. He drops to one knee. The gun falls underneath the trash dumpster. He has no access for it. He stumbles forward. You shoot him again. Is that second shot a good shot scenario? It's a tough one. You know, if you listen to this channel, if you read other information about innocence, imminence, proportionality, avoidance, reasonableness, and you have the general idea of what we're looking for in those 5 elements, you have a great shot of what we call tell little. And that's what Masada does. There's 3 rules of thought. You can shut up and start looking like a criminal, because that's what criminals do, is they automatically shut up. They don't say a word. Or you can tell the little effect, and we'll get into that a little bit. Or logorrhea. Logorrhea means that you're just blathering away. You can't stop shutting up. You're giving away too much information, and it will almost always kill you. Okay, it'll put you in jail. I get that. So let's start with Masada. He wants to start saying, hey, and this is different. I want to parsec this between the 911 call. I firmly believe that you should call 911. In the state of Minnesota, you're legally required to get aid to that person, whether you actually did the shooting or if you witnessed the shooting. The state of Minnesota requires you to send help or tell a conservation officer or a police officer. That's what the statute actually is. Tell a little and then hang up the phone. You don't, because when the 911 operator starts to talk, that's recorded, guys. All right, that's going to be played out in front of the jury if something goes wrong. You need to hang up. So when the police comes, he goes, that's the guy who tried to kill me. The weapon is over there. Other evidence is here. Those are the witnesses. Then you shut up. Say you'd like to file a complaint. Then you shut up. You start sounding like the victim. If you start sounding like the victim, maybe the officer will start looking at you like the victim. Now, if it's a clear cut where this guy is trying to kill or rob you, well, maybe later, after the investigation, that he has several robberies on his record. And then, lo and behold, they're going to start to believe you. Hey, you're the good guy. You don't have any criminal record. Guy who attacked you had a criminal record. Well, let's just say that the guy didn't have a criminal record. How are you going to prove it? If you just shut up and you didn't say that the gun went underneath the dumpster. Again, when I tell this story, some people are going to say, well, when you're in that scenario, you're going to have tunnel vision and you're not going to necessarily see that the gun went underneath the dumpster. It's a story point. It's a data point of a fictional story. Get past that. That's a very common thing when I tell this story. Get out of your head. You're thinking too much. This is data points. What happens if the cop, if you didn't tell the person who attacked you with a gun that the gun is underneath the dumpster and they don't find it? I have a tremendous respect for Mark Victor. He is a lawyer out of Arizona. I've been reading and listening to his stuff for about 6 years. Before active self-protection started videotaping. Brilliant lawyer. He is the shut-up kind of a person because he wants all his options open, but I don't truly think that he truly understands the nature of a good guy self-defense claim. As I stated before, not too many lawyers will have a true guy self-defense claim because most of them shake out in the weeds, and you're going to be found to be on the right side of where it should be. And then there's that gray area where you don't necessarily know that you don't have enough data points to prove that you are the innocent person. Now, let's just say that you did talk with that second shot. You talk too much. To me, you are no longer in fear for your life or great bodily harm. The person doesn't have the ability or the opportunity to immediately kill you because he is half your size. He went to one knee. He is wounded. He doesn't have an implement in his hand. Well, and some people say, well, he just attacked you. He could have a knife. He isn't shoot. a hidden action. Yeah, a movement to the back where he may have a gun. Him saying, oh, stop. I'm going to slip my hand in my pocket and retrieve this knife and continue. Yeah, that second shot is murder. Too much proportional force. So if you talk to that point, yeah, absolutely. But you're not talking to that point. And what people don't understand is that you're just saying, you're identifying that person tried to kill you. The murder, his weapon is here. The shooting casings are here. He shot me from over there. Those are the independent witnesses. Hey, you know, if 3 guys were in the alley and you went against 3 guys and you pulled your gun out and shot one of them, guess what the other 2 that you did shoot are going to say? Yeah, we didn't have a problem until this guy with the gun came out and shot my friend. How are you going to overcome that? What is going to be your data points, unless those guys have criminal arrest records? What are going to be your data points for proving that this was a self-defense claim? Is the prosecution going to really believe you when you shut up and then you start talking to a lawyer and a week later the lawyer is going to say this was a self-defense claim? How is that going to shake out for you? Do you really understand that? And this is what I was getting to with Mark Victor. He will say, well, maybe those are not the, he says, shut up, don't say anything. Like if the gun did go underneath the, and I forgot exactly what the story was, that if the gun did go to the dumpster, Mark would rather have you tell them, and then he tell the cop, and then they go look for it 3, 4, 5, 6 days later. You truly believe that that gun's still going to be there 3, 4, 5, 6 days later? Really? Do you believe that? You truly believe that you're going to you're betting the rest of your life that you're going to shut up and tell your lawyer 3, 4 days later, because you're going to have to hire him, you're going to have to find him. You think he's going to be on your doorstep right away? You know, unless you have one of those membership where they send a team out there right away. Who knows if that evidence is going to be still. Let me talk about that a little bit, because I didn't have an opportunity to talk about it. The number one destroyer of evidence is the ambulance crew. They come in, they wipe you clean, they do whatever. They wipe exculpatory evidence off you before it is processed. They come in, their ambulance goes over the shell casings or some other evidence that it hasn't been secured yet. Police do the exact same thing. It's not uncommon for shell casings to be stuck in the boots of police officers. It's not uncommon. Masada, you talked a long time ago about a case up in his neck of the woods, Vermont, New Hampshire, whatever. There was some kind of a shooting, and there was shells that were in the roadway, and it snowed, and a plow came through, and they couldn't find the shell casings. They couldn't prove that the person actually shot anything. Those are the data points that you need to secure. You know, this is the rest of your life, and you're literally betting on that if you do shut up, that all the data points are going to be there. You know, Mark does bring up a good thing. You know, some states there are itemized violent felonies that proportional force is warranted. In my state, there isn't. It's listed in your place of abode where proportional force can be suspended or could be suspended in whole and part if you're in your home, but not outside your home. There's, you know, all that really does is prove that proportional force was warranted. Well, I'm not exactly sure a justification defense is warranted in that fashion. Majority of the time, and if we're talking about odds, it's going to be a self-defense case, not a justification case. yes, a self-defense case, you may have to prove some kind of innocence, eminence, proportionality, avoidance, reasonableness, or let's reverse this, that the government will have to disprove that you were not innocent, eminence, proportional, avoidance, and reasonable. All right, that's what the state is going to have to overcome. And another lawyer, E. Allen Chandler, of some other, I can't remember what the membership legal defense fund, whatever it is, active self-protection, peddles it on his website. And I listened to him. I listened to his sales speech, and he said, don't go to the hospital. You know, if you are 45, 50 plus, and you get into a use of force event, there's a higher percentage that you're going to have a heart attack. Sorry, guys. The older you get, and your heart starts pumping, and you have a better chance of getting into a heart attack. And what his thing is, yeah, you go there, they take blood. Well, then the government can look at your blood. You know, they can get a search warrant for that. Well, if you're on drugs and alcohol and you're not supposed to be where you are, well, you probably won't do that. Are you going to find, maybe the doctors will find some exculpatory evidence that will prove defensive wounds on you. He also said that he's seen lawyers so incompetent that they can't even get your gun into evidence. Really? Let's go down that road. What E. Allen Chandler wants you to do is to shut up, because he's a better lawyer than some prosecutors. Are you going to bet the rest of your life that E. Allen Chandler is better than the other lawyer that can't get a gun into evidence? Well, that's not going to get into the trial process. Meanwhile, you sat in jail for 2 years waiting for your trial to come to a bail. Are you willing to sit in jail for 2 years and take the chance that E. Allen Chandler is going to be a better lawyer than another prosecutor because a prosecutor can't get your gun into evidence? You really want to wait 2 years? No. That's the silliest thing I've ever heard in my life. You better have, there's a limited amount of time where you have to tell the judge that this is a self-defense event. You have to. There's a lot of court cases that have denied a self-defense claim because it took too long for the defense attorney to say this was a self-defense claim. It has to be. This is a very extraordinarily nuanced kind of thing, and it's really developed into, it's a personal, how you perceive it, how your body reacts to adrenaline. When your body reacts to adrenaline, the first 48 hours, you may not be totally cognitive of what you remember. Distances can be off. Sounds. Auditory exclusion is prevalent. If you get your distances off, and they'll start to think that you're lying, that you're trying to feed them a story. Well, in the tell little effect, you are not dealing with all that stuff. All you are doing is pointing out exculpatory evidence. That's the person who shot me. That's the weapon. He shot me from over there. Those are the witnesses. I'd like to file a complaint. That's it. What in that story is going to be worse for you if you are truly an innocent self-defender? Now, we talk about adrenaline. If you don't know how to shut up, it may hurt you. George Zimmerman was a bad example of this. Is George Zimmerman, in front of a camera, went back to the scene and told the police everything. And I don't remember how long after the attack it was. I don't remember. And that's probably a key fact to this story. What he told the police was corroborated by physical evidence and the witnesses. I wouldn't recommend that, but it worked out for him. It worked out for him because he was basically on the stand and he couldn't get cross-examined by that. That's a little bit of a storyline with the tell little effect. If you are attacked and say, that person tried to kill me, the weapon is here, you try to kill me over here, those are the witnesses, then you shut up. That can't be cross-examined. What is there under those facts that are going to look bad for you in the end? I'm not exactly sure. Now, as I stated in the video before, I truly believe that 98% of the people on this planet should shut up. I think that people who watch this video and listen to me often and read the books about innocence, imminence, proportionality, avoidance, and reasonableness have a better shot of becoming their own marketing person and have a better shot of saying little. Listen, you need at least 2 good sleeps before you remember everything. You know, are you going to find your lawyer in 48 hours? Are you? Are you? Are you very comfortable about shutting up, finding a lawyer from jail, mind you? You're in jail. Hey, if you don't have someone on the outside helping you, you're in jail. How are you going to find a lawyer in 48 to 72 hours? I don't know. Public defender. Are you going to get to the, do you really want to bet the rest of your life on a public defender who is overworked, you know, may have some aspirations on some other different level? You don't know the motivation of a political, a public defender. You don't. That is why I'm a strong believer in the tell little. I'm a strong believer in the tell little. If you have the knowledge and if you can shut up. I really do. Well, I'm also going to be doing is just like we're going to be having a live show, I believe the 19th of April. And Lazaro Angeles Lanza, the lawyer from New York, is going to be on it. If you guys do have any questions or comments, I'll be sending out a link where you can send me the questions yourself, or I am inviting you to the show yourself. If you want to call in, if you want to stream live yourself, and I will put you on the screen, we can probably set that up for you. Now, just because I have a disagreement on this one point, he's the lawyer, I'm not, doesn't negate why most criminal defense lawyers say shut up, mainly because their client base is a criminal, and you're not going to be advancing your narrative by talking if you are a criminal. Okay. My name is Jeff. This is 2A Self-Defense Law. I hope this helped.